hidden castle ruins might remind you of times long ago. Still, some ghost stories and legends have survived, over centuries, and they're still being told today. Recently, ghost hunting and paranormal research has spiked in popularity, and so the people are once again flocking back to these ancient spots in hopes of catching a glimpse of the other side. Here are some ghosts or Geister of Germany. What is the most famous one, at least here in the United States, Vincent?
That would be the poltergeist.
Absolutely.
Or noisy ghost or noisy spirit. It is a type of ghost or spirit that is responsible for physical disturbances such as loud noises and objects being moved or destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
They are reportedly capable of pinching, biting, hitting, and tripping people. Most accounts of poltergeist describe the movement or levitating of objects such as furniture and cutlery, or noises such as knocking on doors. They have traditionally been described as troublesome spirits who haunt a particular person instead of a specific location. Such alleged poltergeist manifestations have been reported in many cultures, not only in Germany.
Oh, absolutely. It seems like every country has adopted Germany's poltergeist, and I believe we have poltergeist activities sometimes here at the jail too. Then there is the Nazia, forgive me, Nazia in German folklore. Okay, what this is a supernatural being, and it's similar to a vampire. It's often tied to suicides or accidental death. Now, the Nazia awakes after death and often attempts to devour its living family members, but sometimes it consumes its own flesh in the grave. Powers include causing death by casting a shadow on the living or by ringing church bells, killing everyone within hearing the church bells. How horrifying is that? I guess that's a vampire type of ghost.
Basically.
Yes. Now, there is the Wiedenganger, which means backcomers. Some even say a walking corpse, similar to that of a zombie, sort of kind of like. It is said a dead person can become a Wiedenganger when he is evil or dies in a natural death, or simply because he does not know that he is dead. The Wiedenganger can come out of the ground and disappear into it again. Some of the more evil Wiedengangers also kill humans and animals. The bodies of their victims do not show any wounds, but simply turn blue and stiff. So that's kind of like zombie ghosts. Kind of like zombies.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we have the doppelganger. And I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with this term. It's talked about here. It's kind of unique among other ghosts. The definition of this type of ghost is actually found in the name doppelganger, meaning double goer. This ghost has the ability to project itself in more than one place, hence the meaning of its name. Now, as far as anyone knows, no other ghost type has this kind of ability. But the real unique quality of the doppelganger is that, the person it projects to others can still be alive. So it's said that if you see your own doppelganger, you will be met with death.
Unless one is German, then the kobold is not exactly a household term when it comes to the paranormal. Like a poltergeist, the kobold is a mischievous little spirit playing tricks on humans and doing things to unsettle whoever is occupying its space. Kobolds can be malevolent or benevolent, depending on circumstances, very chameleon-like. The kobold may materialize in forms, whether it be an animal or an element such as fire. In German folklore, there are even different kinds of kobolds, some even taking up residency in homes and bringing wealth to the owners.
We need some of those. We need some of those ghosts.
Yes, we do.
There are some fascinating hauntings and haunted places in Germany. The Black Forest in Germany, it sprawls along the Rhine River, and it's literally a place of legend. The dense wooded area is filled with pine and fir trees, and it's actually the setting for many of the Brother Grimm's fairy tales. Sunlight is mostly blocked by the trees in the Black Forest, giving it a nightmarish feeling, making it the perfect location for hauntings and paranormal activity. The forest is apparently home to nymphs, a headless horseman, and a ghost of a king who kidnaps young maidens who dare to wander alone. Witches allegedly practice their dark arts here, and some believe, get this, a pack of werewolves lurk in the depths. I'm sorry, the werewolves is stretching it a little, I think.
Well, then we have the Babenhausen, did I say that right? Babenhausen Barracks, now a museum. The ghosts of German soldiers, some in World War II era uniforms, have been reported. Lights are said to turn on and off by themselves, and voices are heard in the basement. Footsteps and commands are allegedly heard at night, supposedly without physical cause. Legend has it that if a soldier happens to visit the museum, pick up a telephone, a woman will be heard at times talking backwards, neither in German or English.
Wow.
The town was site of a witch burning at the stake in the 19th century, and her ghost is said to have seduced and killed several German soldiers since then.
Wow. There's a lot of seducing and like the prostitute place and stuff in these other countries. I mean, where are those stories here in the United States? Okay, here's another haunted place, and it's called the Kahn Barracks in Schweinfurt. Now, this is a site of old Nazi hospital psych ward and a Nazi dining facility. Those are used as barracks for U.S. Army soldiers. Now, 2 separate occasions occurred at least 2 years apart with 2 people unknown to each other. They used the same room and had the same haunting dream. Okay, this is pretty weird. The soldiers were asleep in their beds. In a room right above them was what they call a drainage room. Now, a drainage room back in the day was where they would drain bodies of the blood before there was embalming. So that's kind of gruesome, right?
Yeah.
Now, a Nazi soldier in the dreams, a Nazi soldier was standing over their bed looking down at them and making comments to a nurse that is standing beside him, and this nurse is covered in blood. She has a sad face. The Nazi orders the nurse to do something which is spoken in German, so the soldiers didn't know what she, was being told to do. All of a sudden, the nurse chokes the U.S. soldier, who then wakes up out of the dream. Now, these 2 soldiers never met before, and they both confess their story, and they swear the truth of, behind the stories. Other rumors are of a anti-abortionist woman who carries around a fetus and walks along in the hallway there.
Nice.
Yeah, that's kind of gruesome. Then, in Dresden, throughout this entire town, many people hear the screams and moaning of unseen women and children. This area was home to a hospital during World War II, where many women and children died during the Dresden disaster. Big bombing, I guess.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. When I found out about this next place, I didn't know it was real. I was just so fascinated and I want to go check it out. It's the Frankenstein Castle near Darmstadt. Local legend claims that Johann Conrad Dimple's ghost, along with others, now haunt the Frankenstein Castle. Johann is said to be seen most often between Christmas and New Year's Day, sitting on the roof of the chapel. Now, visitors to the castle have included numerous groups of paranormal investigators and ghost hunters. They're hoping to unravel the mysteries surrounding Frankenstein's home. Oh my gosh, we so need to go there.
Yeah, okay. Well, then we must visit the Witch's Tower and Nazi Amphitheater in Heidelberg, also known as the Thief's Tower.
Ah, okay.
This tower has survived since the Middle Ages. It has once even been a jail for female thieves. It's gained its name of the Witch Tower in 1684 to reflect the brutality of the jail during the time of witch hunts. Many people have heard the wails and seen strange apparitions. Those that visit on moonless nights have the urge to run away as quickly as possible to get away from some unseen fear. There's a great deal of history surrounding this tower, and it has been around for such a long time.
Okay, let's go. When are we going to go?
Not right now.
Next, we have the Elks Castle, which was built like 1,800 years ago. And the castle is still occupied by descendants of the original family. How cool is that? 33 generations, I believe it is. Now, ghosts of medieval knights have been seen, spotted still patrolling the castle grounds and the castle itself. That is just fascinating. In Belgium, at the Black Farm, it's part of the Boy Scouts hostel ring. It's regularly occupied by visiting scout troops. Now, people sleeping in the third floor dormitory, which is former the hayloft, they're woken up at night by a figure of a full Boy Scout that asks them for a light to guide his way. The figure looks solid enough, but its face is always a shadow. When somebody provides a light to him and the ghost walks toward the staircase and disappears. It seems that some years ago, a Boy Scout missed the stairs in the dark and plunged to his death. People have claimed to have seen this ghost, and the innkeeper said that it appears once or twice a year. Now, okay, there's a few legends in German folklore some of you may have heard of. This one I want to touch on is Krampus. Who is Krampus? He is the horrific Christmas devil. Krampus is a half-goat, half-demon, horrific beast who literally beats people into being nice and not naughty. He bears horns, dark hair, and fangs. The anti-Saint Nicholas comes with a chain and bells that he lashes about, along with a bundle of birch sticks meant to swat naughty children. He then hauls the bad children down to the underworld. Krampus, whose name is derived from the German word Krampen, meaning claw, the legendary beast also shares the characteristics with other scary demonic creatures in Greek mythology. The legend is part of a centuries-old Christmas tradition in Germany, where Christmas celebrations begin in early December, and they continue on all month long. Now, according to folklore, Krampus purportedly shows up in the towns the night before December 6th, known as Krampus Night, and that also happens to be the day of St. Nicholas. Now, German children usually look outside their door to see if their shoe or boot they left out there the night before contains either presents or, like a reward for good behavior or a stick for bad behavior. It seems as though the Krampus has become, a modern tradition where they also have festivals and celebrations featuring people dressed up as the Krampus chasing people through the streets. Now, I don't know. With all that, we'll be right back after this short break with more Ghost Talk.
Since 1948, Fate magazine has delivered a one-of-a-kind